Hey, this is Marty, and this is gonna be my reflection for the article entitled The Effects of Aging on Health Inequalities. Reading through the article made me realize a lot of things for both my senior parents. There were a lot of conditions cited in this article that I could easily compare to my parents' current situation. Although the article's plot is in the UK, the whole sense of aging not only being a biological process, but also a sociological process. I would definitely say this is a universal truth in this millennia. Coming from poor families, both of my parents are only able to step to elementary education. My mom is from a family of farmers in the Ilocos region. She was actually sold to her first husband by her elder brother in exchange for sacks of rice. She fled to the city to hide from his then abusive husband. My dad was a young lad back then who originally came from Leyte in the Visayas region. He was from a family of farmers and fishermen. Both of them have wishes of trying to find their luck and a means of living here in the city. Our father worked as a driver and my mom is a housewife. We have always been renting and never had our own home. Luckily, my mom has lived up to her Ilocana reputation. She was able to manage our family's finances so we're able to survive our day-to-day living, having enough food on the table, and being able to support our education. My parents were never able to prepare for their retirement, so I guess we are definitely living now in the Filipinos culture of dependency cycle. If you came from a poor family, the best investment you will make is your children. And in this era of financial planning and security, at times I can't help but fear for my own retirement as well, while having thoughts of gratefully giving back to my parents. Maintaining good balance is definitely essential, and that is why I personally never wanted to be someone who is really rich. Personally, I am trying to maintain at least 2 life insurances, try my best to be healthy, maintain a good work-life balance, and more importantly, be able to support my parents' day-to-day living. As it was noted in this article, old age experience is a result of cumulative experience. So at this age, I have been made aware that we really have to prepare for it. My dad's lineage has several family members who have diabetes mellitus. You can imagine me growing up. My mother would always lecture me on eating too many sweets. 4 of my father's siblings are plagued with diabetes mellitus, including himself, and one of them recently died due to complications. He suffered from 2 episodes of stroke and has a morbid history of hypertension. This uncle of mine migrated with his family back to their hometown due to financial reasons. He lost his job as a security guard because of his health state. My cousins were forced to leave their studies and are working at an early age. Accessibility of healthcare in the Philippines is not equal in every region and city, especially in the provinces where there is not that much progress. It was quite strategic that my parents decided to stay here in Makati City, where the healthcare benefits are pretty much universal, I would say. My mom is very much keen on maintaining her city health cards. They call them the yellow card or the blue card. In addition, senior citizens are automatically enrolled in PhilHealth, which means more savings in most hospital service fees. Managing these benefits are very much necessary for my mom, much more that we're not able to add her to our employment health coverage because of her advanced age. But for my dad, luckily he just turned 60. He's still covered under our employment insurance. I can't emphasize more how important this free access to healthcare is. But as they say, prevention is still better than cure. Being a senior citizen in Makati City is not that bad, if I may say. My mom and dad had their own trips and stays to both private and government facilities. So far, they managed to move past it and were able to recover well. There have been many attempts to get our own house away from this city, but not to live that much is a preference and a decision that both of them have agreed. From a nation's perspective, I am not sure if I would entirely agree with some of the stands mentioned in this article. Generally, our history and culture here in the country have some good foundations in terms of respect towards the elderly. From a legal perspective, the care for older Filipinos is guaranteed by the fundamental law of the land. The senior citizens in our country are supported by RA 7432 or the Expanded Senior Citizens Act. According to the study of chowfoundation.org, the quality of life of senior citizens here in the Philippines is generally positive, or an average level of satisfaction with their household relationships, health status, community life, and participation, access to programs and benefits, and financial security. Personal attitudes of the elderly, such as long-suffering or what you call in Tagalog, matiisin, and general optimism influenced by spirituality, while not negative per se, were also regarded as barriers to the elderly's assertion of their rights. With that being said, the Filipino family continues to be the main provider of care for the elderly people here in our country. Some social and cultural norms may pose different challenges to this traditional family structure. The quality and healthcare decision-making process will still circle this tradition. As much as possible, I would want my parents' old age experience to be as worthwhile and family-oriented as possible. And that's about it, and thank you for listening.